Hi everyone, Alex is here. React Native, Flutter. Let's finally start. I'm sure that if you have been thinking what to choose for cross-platform development, these two frameworks were the main reason of your headache to choose. Why? How does it work? We'll take a look on that today. So let's start with React Native. React Native is a Facebook framework that is based on React, and mostly it was created in 2015. So at the time of the recording, it was approximately 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago, and basically, it's React application that uses bridge to go to native components and then render that on different platforms. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But right now, what you should understand that React Native was the early version of building such applications. It was quite popular at that time. At that moment, it was quite unique because you really should understand that even 10 years ago, everyone wasn't understood that mobile applications are very important and web applications too, so it's better to combine them in somehow variant. So that was one of the variant. And why it's React Native? Because an idea of the philosophy is learn once, write anywhere. Because you're learning React and you should not discover Swift or Java or Kotlin or any other programming languages to make that to different places, just one language. Also, it's not about even mobile applications. It can be desktop applications. It can be whatever applications you would like to, because the bridge technology that they're using, it's quite good right now, and it can be for multiple of the devices, so that won't be a problem. And because they're using this bridge, so basically, what is bridge? If we'll tell you that we're writing code in JavaScript, so it's basically React, that is basically JavaScript, we're taking the code that it is written, and it communicates with native UI components of a specific selected platform. That's all. That's how it works. So there is nothing too hard in realization of that, in technical realization, I mean. So it just speaks with that, and for example, JavaScript is trying to take specific component, and that component is just rendered or be taken by your main UI component of the specific selected platform, for example, Swift or Kotlin or whatever. There is good things of that. So firstly, there really feels natural, and because of that, you can use the latest features. For example, it's new iOS version, and you can immediately use with the presentation some new features that for example, Apple is telling or Google is telling, because they're using bridge that will connect to native components, and the native components will use its new features. So that's quite simple and understandable. But here is the problem. Because of this bridge, it's complex. It can be much more complex when you're creating a hard application with a lot of functions and a lot of animations. Data transporting, really heavy one. So that's not ideal when you are creating something not, I think, e-commerce like, because e-commerce cannot use a lot of animations. It cannot transfer a lot of the data. It just should fetch a lot, okay, but basically it should look pretty the same on all the platforms. So I think that React Native will be really good suit for e-commerce applications. That's why React Native because it was created by Facebook, of course it uses on Facebook Ads management. Also it uses on Tesla, Discord, Uber Eats, and while more, we have also Shopify, Wix. So like even constructors are using that, and that's the main thing that you should understand, that you don't need to have a lot of animations on such application, not be heavy transport data, but if you know that your application firstly should use a lot of new features that a lot of different platforms are telling you, that's good. You can use React Native for that. The main reason, if you have a lot of JavaScript developers, or the developers who know that, it will make much faster building your application that it can be doing by Flutter, that we'll speak a little bit later today. That's the thing. So please take in mind that React Native really good, especially if your application built on React, but not so good at performance. That's why we're going to Flutter. Flutter was created by Google in 2017, little bit later after React Native, but Flutter was first fully built for cross-platform development, while React Native, it was mostly like the bridge system that was based on React, so it wasn't a new framework, and it was based on the React basically. But Flutter is completely different framework that is using Dart for working on that. So it was created on 2017, and ideas here little bit similar but different. Hear me. Write once, runs anywhere. So when we're telling about React Native, learn once, write anywhere, but Flutter, we can write once and that can be run everywhere. The difference here in philosophy, that Flutter is much more stable to run on different devices. It's not so easy to learn, honestly speaking. And it's not so popular to be learned. But the running process is better on Flutter, and let's talk about that. So you discovered that it was ground completely new cross-platform framework. It is based on the thing that calls Dart, like the programming language. So you will be writing your code not on the React or any other application. You will be writing that on Dart. There is a constant pros of this. So pros is that is great. It's also backend applications. Like you can create even backend applications. So it can be a combination of this. So like one programming language for both of the things. Wow, that's quite cool. But cons, it's Dart. The question: how many people knows Dart? Especially as compared to JavaScript. I think you will be able to take the statistics for the time when the video will be published, and I don't think that something will be changed until it was recorded, until it will be published. So basically, that's the thing. Dart is much harder to be learned, discovered, but it's much more stable. And also it not uses bridge system. So it uses little bit different technology. So they're using their own engine system that calls Skia. And while it's directly scratch on the screen what you're waiting for, so all AI animations budget, they're created as widgets on Dart. And while it can use, of course, some UI components from basically your React systems, but like from not React system, from different platforms, but basically they are rendering on a different system, like Skia, that will be compiled for a little bit different way. So that's the system, that's the idea here. You'll be able to discover Skia more if you would like to, or you just ask me, I will be able to create a video on that. But basically, that's the idea. So React is telling bridge, so it just takes the components, UI component that we have on our native mobile apps, but Flutter is just rendering them by themselves. They can use some parts of your elements, but basically it's like fully new system for creating applications. Yeah, that's the thing. So basically, if we'll tell honestly, Flutter have better performance and more fluid animation because it's using engine to render all the things, while React Native uses React. That's, I think, the biggest con here, like the biggest pros here, and that's not so fluid, like Flutter once more, but it's more native. So native things is like access to the camera controls. It's working with your new features. It's working with actions buttons, for example, on any of your devices. It will be the same usage, like it will be working the same way, just a lot, like really good. So that's what we have. And while I told you what React Native applications are, so Flutter applications are, of course, Google applications. So it's like Google Pay, Google Play, it's Google Ads also, as I remember, or how does it called? It's also my BMW, sorry, SpaceX, Alibaba, such things. Maybe some more I won't remember, but that's that they're using right now. So all of that applications are being used, they're using good. And once more, an idea here in all that applications is to make your application faster. That's the most grateful idea here on all such applications. So please remember that you should make business application faster and less costly. This thing will help you. And let's go to our code examples. Okay, that's what we have here. We have two folders instantly. I'll tell you that it was created instantly because the creation of that, it's not so fast process, and we'll be running such applications and you'll see that it's not so fast as it can be. So let's start with our React Native, but firstly let's go to our CLI and let's discover what do we have. So firstly, to create your application, for example, for React Native, let's talk first about React. We'll be using React Native Community CLI, initializing all that. Why this common? Because as you know, another are deprecated, so this one will work fine. But in any case, such thing you can find easily with your AI or with your Google request. So in any case, that will be approximately the thing how you will run it. It will go further. How we can, like, it's installation of them, how we can run that. So for running, we're just going to that folder and we're using npx React Native run iOS. So we're running iOS version of this application. And firstly, before that, you should install Xcode because basically it will be taking Xcode to run that. You can install that on App Store, or if you don't have macOS, that's bad because basically, as I know, you can develop iOS applications on macOS. that's not the questions for me. That's questions for Apple. Maybe they have released something new that I don't know, but basically that's an idea. You can also install Macintosh, as I know, but that's, as I know, not legal, so don't do such things. And basically, what we can do right now, so you should install your Xcode. It will go here. Xcode is such application, so it looks in this way. So it have Apple Store. Maybe we can open it in this link. Cancel. That's how you can store. Like you're just, it's free. It's free. You can just download it and it will be good, but it will take a lot of space on your computer. So let's go further. We're just hitting enter, and what we'll see, we're immediately running our CLI here that will run our iPhone, that emulator you'll see here right now. Yeah, that's this. So the version 17.2, 15 Pro, you can change these things in settings wherever you would like to. So we're just scrolling here. You see my React Native app. We're going here. It will be building here, and that's what we have. So it's the easiest way how you can see it works. Like just we're clicking increment, you'll see it works. You can also put this application to your phone. So basically for that you should connect your device. You also have some settings here, so basically you can connect it here if you would like to make more video about how to make simulation from your macOS and how to make that to your iPhone. Just tell me and I will be able to make whatever I would like to. Yeah, also we can click these things. Yeah, it's quite funny. Yeah, so we're incrementing that works. That's this. Like that's all. Nothing hard here. And we're going back. So the app is built. That what we're launching. That's all. So how does it work? Let's check it out. So let's go here. My React Native app. We have some buttons here that you won't be changing. At least app TSC. That's the only one thing that you will change here. And based on that, you can create a folder that in any case will go to app TSX. So app TSX is your main file that you're working on. That's all. That's not so hard, I hope. So yeah, that's what we have. So let's take a closer look on that. Let's remove this one. Oh, I'm downloading something that didn't know. Yeah, so that's what we have. Quite easy here. So it's fully React, and we have, you see some buttons, some text that will be taken on by your native components. So we're just creating the simple function use state, our view, button increment, and our style sheets, how we want to see that. Yeah, that's pretty all. Nothing very hard. So you should just understand some style sheets on React Native, some elements that are native there, and that's all. As you see, native JavaScript, and your application will be even on your phones. That's incredible, especially when you're starting to do your application, your company. And let's go further. So that's not that. Of course, we're working with Flutter. How we can use Flutter? So Flutter, first, it should be installed basically on website. So you're choosing type application, for example, Flutter on iOS, and here you can just take for Apple Intel Silicons. You can also discover this for another platforms. Why it tells me about Apple Silicon and Intel? Because it automatically understands that I am on macOS, and that's the way how it recommends me to do. Yeah, so you also can change it here in any way. So current device automatically understand, but you can use Chrome OS, Linux, Windows, whatever you want to. Yeah, so after that, what I really recommend you, I really recommend you to go to, let's go to view, to extensions, and go to Flutter here. So we're going to Flutter. Yeah, and install this extension. So basically this one will help you to create an application, and how you can do that for macOS. You just should hold Command, Shift, and P letter. So it will be, one sec, let's go to our view, to our Explorer. I will just show you how it should be written on. So it's our Command plus Shift plus P. Command is just the short of the key of Command. You'll be able to see that near the space. So you're just taking first the Command, then Shift, holding that, and then clicking on P. And you see this thing. You see we can create a new project and application, empty application, and that will create your application, and based on SDK that was installed. So basically your Flutter. So it should, that's why it should be installed. As you know, it can be even done without your downloading of from the web page Flutter, but for me it didn't work. I was trying to install that. It made a lot of errors, so I just reinstalled it with with just native application. So basically, maybe it was back on my side, maybe not, but in general, that didn't work for this way. So I just installed it from their website and take the extension here, and bam, it worked. That's the way. Then, so what we're actually working with our Flutter. So we have our Flutter app. We're just running Flutter on. That's all what we need. So we're going to new terminal. We can go this one. We're going to Flutter app, Flutter on. And here you'll be asked one of the two questions on what you would like to run your application. Sadly, Flutter for setting up, it's a little bit harder than React Native, honestly speaking, as for me. And for example, for right now, I cannot run that on macOS, I think, because I should give it some permissions, but I didn't check that already. But we'll be able to run that through our Chrome application. So it will be like web application, but in any case, it will be the same thing for web or for phone application. That's how Flutter will work. So while it is running, I told you once more time, it won't be very fast. So we're going to Flutter application. What we see here? We see quite harder structures. So it is web, macOS, a lot of other things, built-in Android IDE. So you'll be able to fully run that on this IDE, because mostly it has been run on IntelliJ software. That's quite good working there. But in any case, for us, we're not should to work with any of these things. Yeah, you can change some things in files, and we have a problem here. Couldn't build for the simulator or launching on 15 Pro. Yeah, because we should click on this thing. Yeah, so we're clicking that, terminate. Yeah, sorry, so we should quit on our application. So all basically that was before, so I just didn't close the terminal there. And right now we can just run Flutter run. And right now I hope that it will work. So basically you can make some changes here, but the main primary changes will be done on your lib folder, it main Dart, and we'll check it out. But first you can choose what you would like to find. So no wireless devices found. You'll be able to connect, for example, your phone to use your Flutter application. But right now let's use it on Chrome. Just click into, and it will connect for our Chrome application. It will be the same counter, but it will be like different design, and it will be on web application, because I had a problem, sorry, to run that on iPhone simulator. So here we have the thing, so we're just clicking increment, and it works the same way. And how we can check how does it work here. So let's go. We're going to main Dart. Let's close it up and let's check it. So firstly, as you see, it's fully Dart application, and you should understand how this Dart works, so you should discover it. Yeah, it will be much more performance here, but the question, should you learn that? When you have nearly the same React, yes, there will be higher performance, some more fluid animation, but more, well, it doesn't mean that on React Native there won't be there. It will be just, in some cases, more, especially when you're using a lot of animation. So you should think about that. So if you're creating something more hard on your application, so it will be with more analytics or more content checking, I don't know, editors, so this thing will work, I think, quite better, significantly. But if you're creating such simple, for example, e-commerce application, or, I don't know, for example, coffee shop application for ordering coffee, so you don't need this thing. React Native will be much easier for you to learn. And let's discover that. So what we see here? We see here creating the class, how we can override the function built-in. We're using counter page, our counter, we're increasing that, we're setting state of that, so a little bit similar to React Native that we have. And what we have here, our app bar, what we have in the body, child, children, counter, our text thing, our button, where it will be. So that's the easiest way how to show that, but you'll see the difference. That's how it works. That's it. Let's have some conclusions. Basically, if you have a team that already knows React, I think you don't need to have any more arguments to work in that on React. No, if they also know Dart, in some way, I don't know how, but they also know that one. That will be the question, so you should understand what is the platform you is building right now. So if it is building on React, so it will be better to continue that, supporting on React Native. If it's building on Dart right now, or your backend is on Dart and it will be easier for you to maintain most of those things, okay, why not? Go with Dart. Of course, and if performance is important for you, but basically, in the world of programming, it's very important to know your truly business reasons. And business must tell that faster is more quality for that, because you'll be able to check with clients how to make that better, faster, and in any case it will be better in some time. It won't be better as fast, but you'll be able to have money for creating the better, and that's why I'm telling you, mostly use React Native, because most of you will know React, or if you don't know that, it will be much easier for you to learn than Dart. But if you have passion, if, for example, it's really important to be working on performance, animation, Dart is here. And also if your backend is on Dart, because it will be easier to maintain, because you understand the both things and it has the same idea of writing. So that will be also important on speaking. So that's all. And in any case, we all are going to easier create enough applications. With AI, it creates much easier. So basically, we should use and create not ideally created applications by yourself by using all these programming languages, Swift, Kotlin, Java, etc. No, we should create faster and more reliable applications. That's why we're using frameworks and presets and predefined UI components, because they're good, they're working well, they're discovered by, for example, Google with their material design. That's the idea. So that's why keep in mind that creating faster sometimes is better, and that's why I'm more recommending you React Native. But once more time, think twice what your applications should look like. What is your main target? What your applications should be. Thanks everyone for watching. Wishing you all the best. Seeing you in other videos. And hit like and subscribe. Just write in the comments your thoughts about all of that. Where we are all going. Maybe there will be Flutter 3.0 or for example React Native 25 that will just change the game and it will be just an AI application, like AI prompt. You're just writing there and it creates all of applications for you just with the prompt. Yeah, we have such applications right now, but maybe they will be supported by native developers, by native Flutter or React Native. Who knows? Just write in the comments below your ideas. All the best for you. Happy that you was here. Bye.